Hey, what's up, everyone? So, welcome to Whiznet in partnership with Digital Education and Give Me Certificates 4 weeks intensive programming class. So, what is this class for? This class is an introductory class for an absolute beginner, intermediate, and some advanced developer to sharpen and brushing up script. So, what it means like this class is for people that without any prior programming knowledge at all, and they are new to programming and they want to just learn the basic web development or programming. Yeah, these are the people this class is for. So what are you learning in this class? Yes, in this class you'll be learning HTML, which is the HyperText Markup Language, CSS, which is the cascading style sheet, which is also a styling language, and you'll also be learning JavaScript, which is a scripting language. And by the end of the day, or by the end of the whole class, we'll be using the three skills that we have learned to build a portfolio for each and every one of ourselves. So to meet your instructor, I'm Tim. I'm a full stack developer, but I currently focus on the front end development. I code in HTML5, CSS, S3, Bootstrap, JavaScript stack like MongoDB, ExpressJS, React, EJS, Node.js, and others languages. I also use Python. Yeah. But currently, right now, I work with Developer Cycle from Facebook as their front-end developer mentor. Also work with the Google Developer Group as mobile web specialist. And currently, I'm mentoring some students from Developer Cycle, which are currently doing the Build for SDG challenge right now, and they all have some amazing startups, some amazing projects to exhibit. And also, I'm working with the Google Developer African Scholarship participants for year 2020. Yeah, also I'm a freelance developer and a Facebook bug tester. Yeah. So let's dive into the class again. So the course outline for this week is what is HTML, what are the basic syntax, what is the difference between HTML and HTML5, how to write HTML, differences between code editor and integrated development environments, setting up our tool, writing our first HTML, and practice. So what is it? Maybe one thing, okay, you have seen this somewhere else, or you have seen someone, okay, I'm coding HTML, I'll use HTML to do this. So you have been wondering, okay, what is this HTML all about? So don't worry, so we'll be explaining what is HTML. So let's go into that. So HTML is it's actually an acronym for Hypertext Markup Language. So what does this mean? Hypertext is simply a piece of text that works as a link. With such link, you can go anywhere on the World Wide Web anytime you want. And the word text in HTML is important. Why? Because HTML document must be text only. Since HTML documents are just text file, you can use the simplest text editor, such as Notepad for Windows user or simple text for Mac user, to start writing web pages. So what this means is that HTML is hypertext. Hypertext means like some kind of internet protocol whereby we use text to link pages together. That's what it's all about. So like let's say for instance our HTML is just like a piece of a building we are just constructing and we have put the structure in place. So and we are still building, like we are still building the structure in place, doing the foundation, doing different stuff, and the building is still ongoing, like a kind of project like that. So that's what HTML is all about. HTML is just like our structure for our web pages. So it's the one that stands before we start building those nice web pages, before we start adding styling, adding some scripting language for dynamic functionalities. Yeah, HTML is our structure. So what are the basic syntax? So syntax are the languages or the what we know a language for, what's the right way we write a language is. Just in like English, whereby we say let's say what are the syntax of English language. We know of the word formation. We know of figure of speech and different, like all these noun adverb that will allow us, or that will guide us on how we structure our languages. That's just what syntax is all about. So syntaxes of HTML are the guideline, are the tags. That's what we call them in HTML. Are the tags or the elements that we need to put in place, that we need to write before we can say we are right on HTML. Yeah. So as you can see right now, this is just a simple HTML tag. We have a dot type, we have a HTML, we have head, we have title, we have link rel, we have body, we have h1, we have nav. Yeah. This is just a basic, just a copied HTML syntax. But as time goes on, as we're going, we see what they are used for. So what are the basic syntaxes? The markup language in HTML, that M stands for the set of codes, which also called tags, that enable you to format text on web pages. For example, we have this B in a bracket, the angle and close bracket is the bold tag. So what does bold tag mean? Like something like maybe you're working in a Microsoft Word, and you control B to bold. So just like that, like let's say we are working behind the screen, like what is happening behind the screen, that's just what is like what this just all about. So instead of using control B to bold in HTML, we have to write a tag, which is this B, to do it. That's what we used to do. So anything we put in between between this bold tag, any text we put inside it will be bold. So he also said it puts text in between the bold tag in. It puts text between the bold tag in bold, yeah. And all tags begin with a less than sign and end with a greater than sign, just like this is. And these tags are not case sensitive, meaning that B in uppercase and B in lowercase do the same thing. And most tags have a corresponding ending tag, end tag. So like what does that mean? Like if you see this B in the less than and greater than sign, when we write it, that's the opening tag, and we have to close it with the end tag. So and the end tag also look the same like it, but a begins with slash. You have to put slash. But as time goes on, you see the example of what I'm trying to tell you. Okay, so I said tags. Tags and HTML element is distinguished from other text by tags. The tags contain the element which is enclosed by the brackets, like this less than and greater than sign, or also called as the start tag and end tag. So what this means that anywhere we see this our less than and greater than sign and the text in it, that means those are the HTML tag. We're able to distinguish this is HTML tag and this is text. I don't know if I get one that, yeah. So it allows us to distinguish, okay, this is text, this is HTML tag. Okay, so this is the basic structure of an HTML tag. We have the head, we have the HTML, which is the root, we have the head, we have the title, and we have the body. So if you can see vividly, you can see that this HTML, we have the start tag, and if you check the last this line 8, we have the end tag. Also same thing for the head tag, we have the start tag, we have the end tag as line 4. Also for our title, we have the start tag and we also have the body tag. And because of that, I have not put anything in text tag, that's why it's still like this. Also for our body tag, also you can see we have start tag on line 5, also have the close tag on line 7. So that's just what HTML is all about. So HTML, we have to always, actually, not all HTML has this start and end tag, but there is some specific one that has the end, start and end tag, and we must close it for it to work, unless we have a bug in our code. So I said this HTML is at the top level of the HTML document, which is often called as root. So what does this mean? That this HTML here, like this code here, is the root of all other HTML code, meaning that before we can continue writing any other code in our language or in our HTML, everything must be inside the HTML and must be closed with the end tag of HTML. Like HTML is like the land we build our house on. Like for instance, we can't say we want to build a house without us having a land already. Yeah, that can be possible. So we must have a land already that we want to build our house on. So it's after we have a land, that's when we can ask, okay, I want to do foundation of the house. I want to construct something. I want to do blah blah blah. So without this HTML, the roots, we can't say we want to build a structure. You can't say we want to build a web page. So it has to be in place before we can say we want to do anything. I don't know if I get that. Yeah. So we have to be in place before we can say we want to do anything. So head and body tag reside inside this tag. So meaning that we have the head, like you can see here. You have the head and the body. So they all reside in the HTML tag, which is the root. So exactly, like we can't say we want to build a house and we now go to some places and start constructing. No, we have to have a place where we already mark or already bought for ourselves, and it's inside that place. That's when we now start. Okay, this will be the sitting room. This will be the bedroom. This will be the different structure, different way we want to put it. Exactly. So we can't say we want to build a web page without having the roots, and inside the roots, which is the HTML, that's when we now start structuring how we want it to be. Okay, the head, the body, the content, different stuff like that. So now the head. The head contains information about the web page, like the title of the document. Some of the common tags inside header tag are title, main tag, link, style, and script. So these tags are the example of tag that reside in the head tag. So like that's what that's they reside in head tag because they are what gives information or tells our client or our browser that this web page is an HTML, that tells our user that okay, this is the name of this website. I think I can show you an example on that. So as it's loading, also we have the body tag. The body tags describe the actual presentation of the web page. Okay, so like I was saying, let's continue. So the body tag describes the actual presentation of the web page. Some of the common tags inside the body tag are H1. H1 is for heading, is an heading tag, is edit tag. We have the P tag, which is the paragraph. We have the span, which is also like kind of paragraph but not really paragraph. We have div, which is for section. So this body is where we put the whole thing of how our website wants to look like, how we want it to structure. The content of our web page is inside the body it resides, but what's the information about the web page, they all live in the head. Yeah. So let's continue. So I said below are some basic HTML tags and attributes. So we have the A tag. So A tag is used to describe links on a web page. So what does this mean? Like link, if you have visited some pages and you are clicking, maybe they say click here or say okay, they click home, about, different stuff. Those are the functionalities of the A tag. A tag make those happen. A tag make those happen. And so for A tag to make that happen, A tag must have an attribute called href. Href is telling the A tag that okay, whenever they click on me, this is where you should take them to. So each tag must have href attributes in order for it to function and take our clients wherever we want them to go. So let me show you an example of what I'm saying. Don't mind this. So something like this. Okay, if you run this on a web browser, yeah, you see this. So this link here, as you can see, and maybe you have to use other browser and you see different links. So this link is made possible using the a tag, and this link, wherever it takes me to, is also possible because of the href that we have set and put in place. Like you see, it takes me to another page entirely, leaving where we are before, and this was possible because of the a tag and the href actually. So let's continue. So we also have the image tag. Image tag is used to add images on the web page. So yeah, image tag is used to add image on the web page. So before we can actually say we use an image tag to add an image on the web page, we must have the src attribute, which defines the file name of the image with extension. So what does it mean? Like src is like the source. It's like telling, okay, when this image load, when this browser load, I want to put an image, and the image is this in this location. And when it's loading, the browser will go to, okay, let me go and fetch that image from this location and pull it and display it to the client in the browser. So the src is what does that. Is the source of, is like telling you, okay, it's the one that go to the part where the image is, going to the server wherever the image is, and pulling it out and display it to our clients. I don't know if you are getting that. So let me show you an example of that. So if you, the first picture I show you, this is an image. So this image was displayed to us because I set it here using the src, and the src, I link it to the folder of where my image is, which is here, and this is my image, and I was able to link it to, sorry about that, so this. So I use image, that's the direction of where my image is, and slash the name of the image and the extension, which is png, and that's how I was able to load this for me. Are they being the, okay, so now let's continue. So now, and this auth, you may be saying, what's the meaning of this? So it said, in an event when this image is not exhibited, an alternate text shall be available on the page as mentioned with the auth attribute. This is for auth text, alternate text. It should be available so that, one, you're able to tell our search engine that this is the name of the image, so that when it's ranking or indexed in our web page, you're able to know this the name of the image. And two, for vision impaired people, so that whenever they are using a screen reader, they're able to know, okay, this is an image, and it will read them to them, okay, the name of the image is blah blah blah. But if we don't use it, the image will just load, and maybe we have a case, maybe they will not get the right part to the image. People just don't know what is actually here. Does this person just purposely make a blank, or just put an error here? So let me show you an example of that. Let's say this is the image loading properly, and now let me make some little adjustment, like adding more so that means the direction is not found, and I now load the page. You see, the image is not loaded, it's showing a broken kind of image, right? But if you notice something, you notice this text, it says difference between HTML and HTML5, meaning that this is my alternate text. This is not shown before, but it's because the image part is broken. That's why it's showing now. Like, okay, an image is here, but because the image is broken, that's why I'm showing this alternative text. So because of that, people were able to know, oh, an image is here, oh, but this is the name of the image. So, but if I fix my error back, the image will back and the text will disappear. Can you see that? Yeah, that's what it was for. So let's continue. So we also have the h1 at tag. H1 tag is used to describe headings, and it ranges from H1 to H6, with H1 being the heading with a maximum width and H6 the minimum. This means that H1 is for our heading tags, just like if you can see in this example. You see those different headings. I have first heading, second heading, third heading, fourth heading, fifth heading, different heading like that. And see, this is the minimum, and our H1 is the maximum width. So it's used to set the heading of our elements of our web page. This is just it here. As you can see, this is H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, and H6. So that's what it does. So we also have the UL tag. UL tag is used to describe an order list of elements on the web page. So what does this mean? This means like when, like for instance, we are working in Microsoft Word and we want to use bullet points exactly. So UL tag is just like our bullet points on our Microsoft Word that we use to list item on our web page. So like this is an example of what I'm talking about. You see this, I said this on other list, and we have list 1, list 2, list 3, list 4, and you can see this bullet point that uses. So that's what it does. And before we can able to achieve that, we use the UL tag, the opening and closing tag, the opening tag and the closing tag, and we have our list of items using the LI tag in it. So we also have the order list tag, OL. OL is used to describe an order list tag elements of list of elements on a web page. This means that order list is like having our list or maybe items on the web page arranged maybe alphabetically, numerically, something like that. They are orderly. That's what is possible. So for instance, let's see this on the web page. We have this I said this is order list. We have 1, 2, 3. We have list 1, list 2, list. So everything is ordered. So we're able to know the first, the second, and the third one. Not like the one we use bullet point that we don't know which one is the which one. So and to be able to achieve this, we use the OL tag, the opening and the closing tag, and we also use the same LI to list the item in it, but these are orderly. Yeah, so we can actually use another maybe Roman numeral or alphabet to use the order list. Yeah, there is tag, there is attributes of this OL tag to do that. Also same thing for our UL tag. There is attribute to change from this bullet point to maybe square, different stuff like star, like that. Yeah, but I want you to do that research on your own. Do it, send me what you have done. Yeah, okay. So now the next one is we have the table tag. The table tag is used to describe table on a web page. So this means that table tag is used to set up a table. Like what do you know of table? Like table of displaying, like table having a row and a column and information in it. Something like that. We can use HTML to actually bring a structure of something like that on our web page. So let's go to like something like this. You can see here, you see this row. We have see this row. We have testing. Another testing we have Mr. Sunday. Other developments we have Miss Messi. And this is possible using the table tag, and we put the information. So you can see here, you have table here, you put opening and closing tag. You have the row, testing, development, and we have the column. We have Mr. Sunday under testing. We have Miss Mercy under development. I hope you get that. So let's continue. So the next one is the difference between HTML and HTML5. Yeah. So there is actually a big difference between these two. HTML is also known as HTML4, but we call it as HTML. Wow, we have HTML5. So let's see the differences. Why is there a difference between it? Actually, in HTML tag, body tag, head tag are mandatory while coding. So what does this mean? Like in HTML 4.0, before we can say we structure a web page, we have to have the HTML, a body tag, and head tag in place for our code to run. If not, the code won't run. Yeah. Also in HTML, div element is used extensively, which doesn't tell us anything about the content. So in HTML, divs are used like almost everywhere to section the web pages, and when we use div, we doesn't know what we actually this is where this is for, this is what this is for, and that's we may have issue in debugging or doing some changes, or maybe we want to quickly do some changes in my session and we see this up and down, I will be like, oh wow, where am I going to check for this thing? And that may bring kind of bug in our code a bit when we edit where we are not supposed to edit, because everything look the same, div. Yeah, so that's one of the another different. And also in HTML, it has theory doc type declaration, which are discrete, frame set, transitional. So what this means that in HTML it has theory doc type, which is strict, frame set, and transition. So let me show you an example of what I'm talking about. If you see this, yeah, if you see this is a structure of a HTML4 boilerplate. So we can see we have the head, we have the body, we also have the, you can see inside the body we have div, all the item in the div. We also have another div here. So these divs can make the code we won't be able to get the semantic meaning of what is actually going on behind the screen before we run the code. So it may kind of bring kind of confusion when we are debugging, or kind of a bug that we just touch where we are not supposed to, and that may cause some issue. So that's the difference. So now let's go. So in HTML5, the HTML tag, the body tag, and the head tag can be omitted while coding. So what this means that in HTML5, you should actually omit the HTML tag, the body tag, and the head tag while coding, and our code will still run fine. Though it will still run fine, but actually it's not that good. But it's not that good because you have to, everything has to be, I have to structure everything in place so that there won't be further. But boss maybe just want to test, okay, what is this element for? We can easily test it in our test editor, and you see that the same will run without us having to set the HTML body and the head tag. HTML4, our code will still run without those in HTML5. So in HTML5 we also say new elements with semantic meaning like header, footer, aside, and so on has been introduced, which makes the code more meaningful and easy to debug. So what does this mean? That in our HTML5 there is more meaning to our code. Instead of using div everywhere, there is some element tags that HTML5 introduces that give our web page the structure, the backend, like I give it some meaning, like give us to understand, okay, this is what this program is actually doing, this is what is here, this is what is here. So we're able to even debug properly, like okay, you say okay, go and debug something in the footer, we're able to know, okay, let me go to the code and go to the footer part and edit it. Or okay, go to the session, edit the session page. So not like where we have div, we say okay, go to the footer, you'll be like footer, where is footer? You have to be checking the div one by one to be able to know where the footer is. So that's one of the advantages. Another is the easier doc type declaration. In HTML5, you just declare the doc type using iDoc type HTML. So what does this doc type actually do? Doc type is telling our browser like, okay, guy, this web page is an HTML5, and this is what are the things like. It's telling the browser, okay, these are my tags. These are the new tag that is coming. We have the footer, we have the aside, we have the nav, we have the header. So telling the browser that this are what is coming. The browser will be able to know, okay, wow, guy, it's HTML5, so I have to render it accordingly, according to the structure, according to where it's written on the web page. Yeah. So I also said HTML5 introduced the concept of semantic elements like header, footer, which clearly define the intent of the element and its content. So let me show you an example of what I'm talking about. So yeah, if you can see this, we have the HTML, which is the doc type. We have HTML language, which is the language for the web page. We have the title. So inside the body we have the header. In the header we have the nav. So with this you already know, okay, wow, this is the header, and inside the header we have the nav. So you when they say, okay, hey guy, go to the code of our web page and change the in the header or in the nav bar, change it from about us to contact us. You're able to, okay, wow, okay, it goes to just, so you're able to know, understand what's actually going on behind the screen, not when you see the waves like, oh my god, where is the header, where is the nav, where. But with this you already know, okay, this is where this is going on, this is what's happening here, this and this. Like see the footer, we have the footer, like the footer elements tell you, okay, and the footer, and this is where I am at the, and like difference, everything here is very easy, you understand it, you're able to know where you need to work on exactly. So going, so like this is an example of what I crop out for you guys. You have the body, you have a div and div, and for the HTML5 you have this section, article, header, nav, footer. Yeah. So now how to write HTML. So in order for us to write HTML code, first of all, what are the HTML things? What are the things we need to get prepared? So like as we mentioned earlier, we said in HTML we have the head HTML, which is the root of our content. We have the head, we have the body, and inside the body is where the content of our web page will be. So now let's go. I said to write, how to write HTML, we need to write the HTML code in a text editor. So a text editor may be a Sublime Text, Atom editor, or a Visual Studio source code editor. Actually, why this is Visual Studio source code, because there's two for Visual Studio. One is Visual Studio, that is the IDE, and the other is the Visual Studio Code, which is the text editor. So there's difference between the two. So now, if you are using a text editor, save the file with the h.html extension to location. Navigate to file, location, and open in any browser. So this is what actually this is telling us to do. Like I've already opened my own text editor. Okay, sorry about that. I'll open my text editor, and let's say I want to write a code. Let me delete this. Okay, or let me close this. Let's say I want to write a code. I've already opened my new editor and it's telling me on title. So the first thing I need to do is to save, which is Ctrl S, and let's say I want to name the text editor is maybe the name of my page is maybe team, and to now save it, I need to use the extension of what I want to make it look, which is the .html. And after I save it as .html, you know something. First, you notice by this downside, you see that the thing automatically selects as HTML. And if you also see, if I type, if you understand that, okay, this is an HTML code and everything working there. You see, I can easily able to use the MS and generate my code. I can easily use some tags to see, I can only use some to be able to have some things like, because he has recognized the file extension. That's why all this is happening. Yeah, so that's how you write your HTML code. But if you have any issue with that, let me know about it. So yes, like this is a structure of a web page of a boilerplate of HTML, like which I use. So this is it. So now the differences between code editor and integrated development environment, also known as IDE. So there's different code editor, there's different IDE. So which one is the right one for me to use? What are the differences? What are the benefits? So let's do that. Now one, what is a code editor? A source code editor is a text editor program designed specifically for editing source code of computer program. So this is telling us that a source code editor, a code editor, is what we use to edit a code fast. And what's an IDE? An IDE is an integrated development environment and is a software application that provides comprehensive facilities to computer programmers for software development. So what does this mean? That an IDE is a software that gives us more advanced features for building our software. Oh, I would love to have shown us an example. Okay, let me open it before we continue to boot up. So it gives us some comprehensive facilities to build in our software development time frame. Yeah, and those code editor, we have something like, we have Sublime Text, we have Visual Studio Code, we have Atom, we have brackets, different code editor. And for IDE we also have, like, one of this is WebStorm, we have PHStorm, we have Visual Studio itself, the IDE, we have Eclipse, we have NetBeans and others IDE that has advanced functionality, comprehensive thing for software development. So now I said basically difference. Basically, IDE arrives with larger programming features than the text editor. Some of the features include auto-completion of keyword, an inbuilt functions name, and analysis of syntax. So these are some features that IDE brings that text editor doesn't have, like completion of keyword, like maybe you're typing something and it's quickly bring a suggestion of how you run it, or function name, you're writing a function name and still tell you what to write. So like this is my test code IDE running. Actually they are heavy, that's why, that's it about it. Okay, sorry. And in text editor, you only go to have an environment where you can edit your code. So with text editor, we have is like, you give us the ability to quickly edit our code fast with, like, you can easily edit our code. We can easily edit our code without, like, you can see my IDE is still loading now. I think I want to create this and I want to quickly make some changes. I can easily use my text editor and quickly fire it up, open it and quickly go to where I have the issue and I quickly put in and and I save it and I have to run it. But in IDE is kind of heavy. You have to open it. When you open, you have to now be doing some checking like that. Like you can see this. Okay, it's even loading my desktop. Like if I go to my cell phone, still opening my file. So you see, this is my project file I'm working on. So you can see, so on IDE you see different features. You have different things like the structure, say pull request, like commit. You have git, you have problems, able to identify what's going on. You have terminal, which give us ability to run our code without leaving the code, alright, without leaving it. and give us some more advanced functionality like easily debug, run, pull, commit, refactor, like build our code without, like it give us some those advanced functionalities, like those you can see, like you can see all this. It give us different look. See, it's running Sonia analysis for the server, like checking what we are running, like is there any code, is there anything that needed to be fixed in it. You can see showing like exact, like you also have some functionalities like auto completion of keyword, different stuff. Let's go back. So but in our ID, in our text editor, we just have to, it's fast to open. You can see here, no much thing, just build, go to leave it, and we have to run it and visualize our UI. That's one of it. That's the benefit. So what are the benefits of using an IDE? An IDE, we have, as I said, we have an auto completion of the keyword, like the variable name, function name. IDE come with pre-installed library for the specific programming language. Like you can see my IDE here, because I'm running this is a server, is Node.js, and it already give me like what if I click on the option, it already give me the different things I can do on it, like see different things I can do like on it, like it's even give me a diagram of how to show the web page, how it will look. I can generate, I can do different stuff, like say building JavaScript module, like I want to generate diagram is, and it's doing that for me by itself. Like I just have to put it another factor. I can refactor, maybe can you see this? It's a model dependency diagram. This diagram functionalize the model, blah 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 blah. So you can see this. See, like IDE just give, see, it build the structure, the diagram of what I'm working on. He said in my server, I'm having server for EJS, I have Mongo for index.js, I have config.js, and inside I have app, I have config. Like it tell me what is going on behind the screen. Wow, it's just super, but it's heavy. Guys, heavy. It's heavy. It's heavy. Guys, so this is a web storm. Okay, let's go back. So also have syntax alert features. It makes development easier and faster. Provide a console where you can set expression, just like this is a console, our terminal. Give that. But now test one is lightweight, like you can see this is lightweight, you can easily, like unlike ID that is, and it's community, it has community driven plugin available. So community driven plugin available means that if you try to use a plugin and you have an issue with it, there are tons of community, there are tons of people that actually have used it before, and you can easily get a solution to whatever is giving you issue, and you're able to resolve it. And they are free, it's open source. Unlike my ID, that some of it, like I have to purchase it. Like this ID is actually not free. Like as you can see here, you have to get a license for it. Like this, you have to get a license for it, so it's not free, and that's another thing. So also in text editor is enable us to use single application text editor for multiple projects based on different language. Like exactly this. So this, I have my HTML, I have my CSS, I have my JavaScript, and in the same text editor I can easily write everything on it. So now setting up our tools. So setting up our tools today, we'll be setting up. I hope you have forgotten your different tools ready from the link that was shared in the Google Classroom. Setting up our Visual Studio, these are brackets, this Atom, this Sublime. So anyone you already have installed, setting it up. Like I already told you guys, like people that have on what's it called, Sublime. So Sublime, to set it up, you already have Sublime installed. Now to be able to install some plugins, to be able to work, you go to your command platelet. When you click on command platelet, you click search for install. When you click on install packages, it's when we install. Actually, because I'm not connected, that's why it's showing there are no packages available. So when you click here on it and when you're connected, it will install it, and when it is done, it will now show you a list of different packages, so you can now search for the one you want to install. And the one I recommend right now, let me go to packages. So I have my API, a file icon like this that makes all this HTML possible. Bootstrap autocomplete. You have MS, yeah, MS, you need it, you need to install it. Align build error, HTML5 templates, icon fonts, JavaScript compression, console enhancements, open file, package control, rainbow brackets. You also need to get rainbow brackets when you're working on JavaScript. You have to just suggest when you can get upgrade, different stuff like that. Same thing on what's it called, on 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 our Visual Studio. Yes, and open Visual Studio. Click on extension. Okay, let me show you that. Click on extension to be able to install the extension we have. Is install MS Live, auto close tag, auto complete tag, install live server to be able to show you what you are working on yourself on your browser fast and others. So I hope you have all be able to benefit something from this class so far. And if you have any question at all, I'm available to help you out. And you can use the Google Classroom or use the WhatsApp group to reach out to me. It's either me or other admin. They will be able to help you out in whatever the issue you are having. So I hope you have learned one or two things from this, and if you have any question, please let us know, and I wish you the best. Thank you for your time. God bless.